From Isiah Washington fumbling the series of a lifetime to Terrence Howard missing out on $1 billion franchise, these are Black actors who ruined their careers in seconds. When you're on your way to make it big in Hollywood, one wrong word can send you plummeting to the very depths of bootleg Hallmark movies that no one watches. Something similar happened to Isiah Washington, who starred in the biggest medical show in the world. Say what you want about Grey's Anatomy and how long it is, but you have to admit that it's very successful. Mr. Washington portrayed Dr. Preston Burke in the first 3 seasons before he was written off the show. All of this was the result of an incident that took place in 2006 between Washington and co-star T.R. Knight, who played Dr. George O'Malley. In October of that year, there was an altercation between Washington and Patrick Dempsey, who played Dr. Derek Shepherd, which involved Washington using a homophobic slur. Although he apologized, the showrunners had to take control of the incident that was spreading to the public like wildfire and have Washington fired. Tensions escalated even further when he used the same slur in a press room interview at the Golden Globe Awards in January 2007, referring to T.R. Knight. The backlash intensified, and ever since then, Isiah has been at the bottom of the entertainment industry and hasn't starred in anything memorable in recent years. I'll never understand why you'd ruin a perfectly good career by doing something unnecessary like that. I mean, take a look at Jussie Smollett, who staged a hate crime in 2019. Known for his role on Empire, he reported a hate crime in Chicago that ended up being a complete hoax. He claimed that he was attacked by 2 masked strangers who used racial and homophobic slurs, poured bleach on him, and tied a noose around his neck. The police department investigated the situation and found a ton of inconsistencies in Smollett's report. It turns out he staged the whole thing with the help of 2 Nigerian brothers who were extras on Empire. Smollett paid them $3,500 to stage the attack, hoping to get attention and sympathy. At first, he was charged with disorderly conduct, but in March 2019, all the charges were dropped, which was quite shocking at the time. A few lawsuits and trials later, Smollett countersued, claiming mass public ridicule and harm. In December, he was found guilty on 5 felony counts and sentenced to 150 days in jail. All of this led to his character being removed from the final episodes of Empire and sparked debates about racial hoaxes, making serious incidents less serious. His career is in turmoil at this point because this little stunt of his was completely unnecessary. Next, let's look at what happened to the Chi's Jason Mitchell in 2019. Now, this wasn't something that involved the wrong use of words or something as insane as staging a hate crime. This was something much more serious. He was fired from the Chi because of allegations of assault, where showrunner Ayanna Floyd Davis and co-star Tiffany Boone accused Mitchell of inappropriate behavior, with Boone expressing feeling unsafe around him. Creator Lena Waithe had a word with him during season 1 and assumed they settled down, moving to the 2nd season. At first, Mitchell denied these accusations, saying he was an ally of the Me Too movement, but also believed that women like Ayanna used this as a really ugly weapon. He eventually got dealt with professionally and was fired from the Netflix film Desperados. Apart from talent agencies dropping him, Mitchell was also arrested on the 22nd of April, 2020, facing criminal charges including possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute. He was also charged with possession of a firearm by a felon. So in other words, the actor resorted to drugs and crime after his acting career went tumbling down. Up next, I'll be reminding you of what happened to Will Smith at the 94th Academy Awards on the 27th of March, 2022. We all know where we were when this happened, and boy, did it break the internet. So, the host, Chris Rock, made a joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, who shaved her head after being diagnosed with alopecia. What happened next was something that no one expected to see at the Oscars in a million years. Smith walked up on stage, slapped Chris, and walked back to his seat yelling the words, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth." Even Lupita Nyong'o looked awkward in the background, and in all fairness, every Hollywood star in the room felt the same. They just didn't know how to react. This reaction of his led to a huge domino effect where the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences asked Smith to leave the ceremony, but he refused. Later in the evening, he won the award for Best Actor for his role in King Richard and apologized to the Academy and fellow nominees. The funny thing about this long and emotional speech was that he never apologized to Chris, and the weeks that followed were full of controversy and backlash. On the 1st of April 2022, Smith resigned from the Academy, expressing regret for depriving others of their celebration opportunities. After the incident, he hasn't really been in any worthwhile movies or TV shows. This doesn't mean he's been blacklisted. It just means that he's under speculation and investigation by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, even though he's not a member of the Academy anymore. The verdict on the 8th of April stated that Will was banned for 10 years from future Oscar events. A bunch of his film projects were scrapped because of this, and everyone everywhere was talking about what happened. Will had to issue a public apology, while Chris keeps using the incident as material in his interviews and stand-up comedy shows just to stay relevant. The Smith family was interviewed about this too, and they weren't holding back any details. I mean, they were giving us information no one asked for. Is his marriage to Jada a mess? It's gotten to the point where everyone online is begging interviewers to stop asking them questions. Well, at least he's still worth like $350 million because of all the movies he's starred in over the years. Unlike a certain actor who missed the opportunity of a lifetime by turning down the role for a sequel, Ja Rule didn't return to his role as Edwin in Too Fast, Too Furious in 2003. He said that he's taking this acting thing seriously and couldn't take risks with blockbusters like this. So, when he left the Fast and Furious franchise in search of something better, Ludacris filled in his shoes as Tej Parker, a street racer and mechanic. Tej is a prominent protagonist and has crucial roles in every Fast and Furious movie that has been released since the sequel. It is undeniable that Ludacris has made millions of dollars from his acting career, given the series' commercial success, popularity, and the quantity of sequels it has produced over the years. But unless you are familiar with his music, you have probably never heard of Ja Rule. He hasn't starred in anything notable whatsoever because his Wikipedia page lists Fast and Furious as his most famous roles. Imagine ruining your career with one terrible decision. I mean, this is what happened to Terrence Howard too, isn't it? A lot of you may remember him in the first Iron Man movie as James Rhodes, Tony Stark's best friend. Now, some sources say that he left the role and didn't return for the sequel because he didn't see these movies going anywhere. If that's the case, then he probably missed out on a lifetime supply of money. But other sources say that there were a lot of issues regarding the salary distribution between him and Robert Downey Jr., the man he helped land the role in the first place. Downey Jr. was getting paid millions, while Terrence would have been paid much, much less. This didn't slide well with Howard, and he was left with no option but to exit the role. But this decision destroyed his career. Call it selfish, but if I were an actor and did not see immediate financial benefits, I would leave too. But like Ludacris, Don Cheadle signed the contract of a lifetime because I'm pretty sure movies like Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame paid Cheadle millions of dollars. After all, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is a billion-dollar franchise. Endgame is literally the highest-grossing film of all time. I'm not going to say that Howard hasn't starred in anything important, because Empire was a pretty successful TV series. I don't think any of his other films are very notable. Showdown at the Grand, The System, The Walk, Triumph, Cutthroat City. I will bet $1,000 that no one watching this video has seen any of those movies. Cheadle, on the other hand, recently starred in Secret Invasion, Noah Baumbach's White Noise, and is set to reprise his role as War Machine in Avengers, Kang Dynasty, another MCU crossover that's likely to make $1 billion. So there you have it, from Terrence Howard missing out on a billion-dollar franchise to Isiah Washington fumbling the series of a lifetime. Those were Black actors who ruined their careers in seconds